Look at them. They came hungry. I only fed what was already starving inside them. The animal was waiting. I simply opened the door.
You opened the door. They walked through it. That does not make the door holy.
And you who have already walked among the dead, what still lives in you? I see the same hunger, the same power to wound with a word before the sword is drawn. You carry the dual nature more clearly than any of them. Why should you be spared the truth of what you are?
Because I have already seen the end of that road. I have watched good men become less than men, not by magic, but by choice. First in the mind, then in the mouth, then in the hand. I know what it costs to let the animal rise. I will not pay that price again.
It will not take you.
Because I choose, and because I still hear the older law, the law that Zeus himself set among men long before this island ever rose from the sea. Treat the stranger as you would be treated when you are the stranger. Do not do to another what you would not have done to your own soul. That law is older than any spell, older than any kingdom. It is the first true measure of a free will that has not yet surrendered. It is the seed of something greater still to come, a law that will one day be spoken not only to one people, but to every living soul under the sun. A law that will call men to love not only the neighbor they know, but the enemy they fear. A law that will demand we treat every other human being exactly as we ourselves wish to be treated.
You speak of Zeus's law, yet you walk with another presence. I feel it around you. Not the thunder, something quieter, the gray-eyed one, the wisdom that moves between thought and action.
Athena walks with me because I still listen. She is more than a goddess who favors one man. She is the wind spirit that moves through all of us, the same breath that stirs in every living soul. A single droplet of that spirit lives in each of us. When we follow the law of Zeus, when we treat the other as we would be treated, those droplets begin to gather. One becomes many. The many become a roaring waterfall. That is how a better world is built, not by force, not by spells that unmake the body, but by the shared spirit choosing, again and again, to create rather than destroy, to heal rather than wound. This law is not finished. It is only the beginning. It prepares the ground for a greater king still to come. One who will not rule by sword or thunder, but by the same law taken to its highest and most dangerous form, that every soul is to be treated as sacred.
Eyed one, the wisdom that moves between thought and action. And you would use that same power on them, call the men back from the swine?
Yes, not because they earned it, because the law demands it, and because the spirit that connects us still believes a man can return from the animal he became. If I leave them as beasts, I become the very thing I refuse to become. The will that can create can also heal. The will that can destroy can also restore. The difference is never the power. The difference is whether the power is honest, and whether it remembers it is part of the same wind.
You would restore them and still leave this island carrying both natures inside you.
Yes, that is the only way any of us leave Eddy Island, carrying both, and still choosing which one speaks, knowing that every true choice sends another droplet into the waterfall, and that the waterfall is only the beginning of a greater river still to come.